From Manchari Newsroom at redmanchari.com.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Michelle. Welcome to today's Rundown, your quick briefing on the story shaping Australia right now. I'm your host, and today we're covering some major developments. We're talking submarines, critical minerals, political drama, and some actual tension with China that's heating up fast. It's been a wild 24 hours in Australian politics and international relations, so let's jump straight in. All right, thing number one, and honestly, this is huge. AUKUS is officially happening. So Prime Minister Anthony Albanese just wrapped up a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington, and Trump gave Australia some pretty big assurances. He confirmed the AUKUS submarine deal. That's the partnership between Australia, the UK, and the US to build nuclear-powered submarines, is going full steam ahead. Trump described the relationship between the two countries as rock solid, emphasizing their history of fighting wars together and calling Australia one of America's most reliable allies.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to have the Prime Minister of Australia. Fantastic place. A lot of friends over there, and this is one of them right here. The Prime Minister is, as you know, Anthony Albanese, and he's highly respected, done very well in his election, and I hear you're very popular today, right? I mean, it varies from day to day, but with all of us. But he's done a fantastic job as the Prime Minister. We're here to talk about trade, submarines, lots of other military equipment. They're big orderers of our great military equipment. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world by far. So we're going to be here to talk about lots of different things, and we might take a few questions before, but we are discussing critical minerals and rare earths, and we're going to be signing an agreement that's been negotiated over a period of 4 or 5 months. And it was sort of good timing that we got it done just in time for the visit. And we worked together very much on rare earths, critical minerals, and lots of other things. And we've had a very good relationship. We've been working on that for quite a while.
Acting Prime Minister Richard Marles said AUKUS is moving at pace, with workers already training overseas and construction progressing on schedule at the Osborne Naval Shipyard in South Australia. Why it matters? This isn't just about submarines. The project will create around 7,000 jobs at the Osborne facility alone and represents the largest increase in Australia's military capability since the Navy was established over a century ago. Plus, it's a massive signal to China and the region that the U.S.-Australia alliance isn't going anywhere. Defense Minister Marles called the meeting a clear affirmation of AUKUS and emphasized that the program benefits all three countries involved. So submarines are coming, jobs are coming, and Australia just got a major diplomatic win. Thing number two builds right off that Trump meeting. Australia just signed an $8 billion critical minerals agreement with the United States. This deal focuses on rare earths and critical minerals, with both governments planning to invest over $3 billion in projects over the next 6 months. Basically, Australia has tons of the raw materials needed for tech, defense systems, and renewable energy, stuff like lithium, rare earth elements, you name it. And the U.S. really wants access to those, especially as tensions with China heat up. A critical minerals expert described this as the first major deal where commitments turn into actual spending, including offtake agreements and price protections to prevent adversarial countries from acquiring these assets. Why it matters? This positions Australia as a global superpower in critical minerals, which are increasingly driving U.S. foreign policy. Treasurer Chalmers said this deal recognizes Australia has exactly what the world needs right now. But here's the catch. China currently dominates the processing of these minerals and has been tightening export restrictions. So this deal could create some tension with Beijing. Still, for Australia, this is a golden opportunity to strengthen economic ties with the U.S. and become a key player in global supply chains. Okay, thing number 3 is a bit awkward, not gonna lie. Kevin Rudd, Australia's ambassador to the U.S., got called out by Donald Trump. in public, at the White House. So during that same meeting with Albanese, Trump was asked about Ambassador Rudd and said bluntly that he doesn't particularly like him. Yikes. Opposition leader Susan Ley seized on this, saying the president appeared not to even know who the ambassador was, and calling the moment embarrassing for Australia.
Or sack him, because the relationship is vital. And the next steps, whether it be AUKUS, whether it be ongoing work in tariffs, higher profile for the Quad, or all of the other issues that may come to pass in what is our most important relationship. We need to have everyone working incredibly hard to be trusted, to be respected, and to understand the domestic implications for what happens when you sit at a table in the Oval Office.
But here's the thing. Treasurer Chalmers defended Rudd, saying he's done a fantastic job representing Australia and deserves credit for the strong relationship between the two countries. Communications Minister Annika Wells echoed this, pointing out Rudd helped architect the successful meeting that resulted in the critical minerals deal and AUKUS confirmation. So yeah, submarines are coming, jobs are coming, and Australia just got a major diplomatic win. All right, thing number 4, and this one's getting messy. Australia and China are now publicly disagreeing over what happened when a Chinese fighter jet released flares near an Australian military aircraft. Here's what went down. On Sunday, a Chinese fighter jet released flares dangerously close to an Australian P-8 surveillance aircraft. Acting PM Marles called it unsafe and unprofessional. But today, China hit back hard. Chinese Air Force spokesperson Li Jianjian told Chinese media that the Australian aircraft had illegally entered Chinese airspace over disputed islands that China, Vietnam, and Taiwan all claim as their own. Defense Industry Minister Pat Conroy wasn't having it. He said flatly, that is factually incorrect. This incident occurred over international waters. He emphasized that Australia conducts these patrols regularly, always over international waters, and what happened was not how a professional military should behave. When pressed about whether Australia was gathering intelligence on potential militarization of those islands, Conroy kept it diplomatic. We do routine patrols through areas of the Indo-Pacific that are of interest to us. We fly over international waters. That is the right of every nation around the world. Why it matters? This isn't just about one incident. It's the third time in recent months Chinese forces have acted unsafely around Australian aircraft. Opposition leader Susan Ley said the Prime Minister needs to use his relationship with Xi Jinping to shut this down. But here's the bigger picture. Australia's walking a tightrope between its biggest trading partner, China, and its most important security ally, the U.S. And right now, that rope is getting pretty wobbly. All right. And finally, thing number 5, some serious political drama at home. Barnaby Joyce is leaving the Nationals party room. The former Deputy Prime Minister announced he won't recontest his seat of New England after 15 years, citing a breakdown in his relationship with the party leadership. Joyce said the relationship with party leadership had deteriorated, comparing it to a failing marriage where he was told there needed to be generational change and felt increasingly sidelined. Joyce's main frustration? Net zero climate policies. He argues these policies are hurting regional communities with rising power bills, transmission lines covering farmland, and restrictions on property rights. He's been pushing hard for the coalition to abandon net zero commitments entirely. Joyce said he's still technically a member of the Nationals, but acknowledged philosophical similarities with Pauline Hanson's One Nation, though he hasn't formally joined. Why it matters? This comes as the coalition is developing its energy policy, with ongoing debates about net zero targets creating internal tensions. Joyce's departure exposes deep divisions within the conservative side of politics, and with an election looming, that's a big deal. All right, that's your 5 things for today. Let's recap real quick. 1, AUKUS is confirmed, submarines are coming, jobs are coming, and the U.S.-Australia alliance just got stronger. 2, an $8 billion critical minerals deal positions Australia as a key player in global supply chains. 3, Kevin Rudd faces calls to resign after Trump's pointed comments, but the government's holding firm. 4. Australia and China are now in a public dispute over that fighter jet incident, with both sides giving completely different versions of what happened. And 5. Barnaby Joyce is stepping back from the Nationals, exposing divisions over climate and energy policy. That's it for today's briefing. If you want to dig deeper into any of these stories, check out the links in our show notes. And hey, if you like this episode, share it with a friend, leave us a review, or hit subscribe so you never miss an update. Catch you tomorrow with 5 more things you need to know. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to readminchari.com and be a paid subscriber to support our work.
Subscribe to Minchari for news with authentic Gen X perspective. Cutting through the noise with zero fluff. Available now across all podcast platforms. News without the noise, perspective without the panic.